Yeah, look what we have here. He was outside, and a few minutes ago he was flying around free, and he saw this bird seed, and he thought it'd be good to have some bird seed. So he walked up here, he stepped on that door, the door closed, and there he is, he's stuck inside. So, now the door closed and he can't get out. And that means we can capture him and hold him in our hand. And what we want to do is give him a name tag so that wherever he goes, we'll know that he was here today. We'll know, we'll be able to tell him apart from all the other birds. So let's see here. You want to capture?
What type of bird are they looking at?
Oh, we'll find out here in just a second. This is a bird that spends the winter in Canada. I'm sorry, the summer in Canada. And he comes down here to warm, sunny Ohio to spend the winter. And some people call him a snowbird because he comes when it's snowing out in the wintertime. But his real name is the Junco. Can y'all say Junco? Junco, isn't that a funny name? And as you can see, he's kind of a dark gray. He has a white tummy. You can look for these around your house. If you have a bird feeder, they like to come and eat seeds on the ground. Sometimes they'll come up in your feeder, but they especially like to eat right off the ground. And they have, this is pretty cool, they have a dark tail, except those outer feathers are white. So he's the Junco. He has these funny white outer tail feathers. And you know why? Because he's always watching out for Junco eaters. There are animals that would like to eat a Junco, or like to eat any bird. Can you think of any animal that would like to eat a bird?
Fox.
A fox. If a fox is sneaking up on the Junco, as soon as he sees him, he flies away. And look what he does. He spreads his tail, and that fox sees those bright white feathers on the outside of his tail there. And that's what the fox focuses on. He wants to catch that bird with the bright white feathers. Then the Junco flies, he lands on the ground, he pulls on his tail, and look at that. The white feathers disappear. And the fox goes, where'd that Junco go? He's trying to fool that fox, and it works pretty good. Now, in order to fly, he has to be very light. If he was real heavy, he couldn't get off the ground. So he's nice and light. He is so light that his wings are really thin, and you can even see through his wings. Do you see what I mean? Look at that. Another way that he's light is he doesn't have any teeth. Your teeth are really heavy. I don't know if it seems like it to you, but if he had a bunch of teeth, he would crash. He'd be too heavy to fly. He had big, heavy jaws like you do. So, how's he going to chew his food? How's he going to chew his food? He doesn't have any teeth. He doesn't chew them with his teeth. He swallows it whole, and then he chews it. How? He chews it down here in his stomach. Not only does he eat seeds, but he eats tiny little stones, little pieces of gravel. And they go down, and then as those stones help grind up the food in his stomach, and he doesn't have to chew them that way. Especially this time of year, you'll see lots of birds by the side of the road when they're picking up little stones. I see that in my driveway. I saw it yesterday. The birds were out in the driveway picking up little pieces of gravel. Isn't that funny? It'd be like you having a spoonful of gravel with your breakfast every morning so that you could digest your food. Well, he's also very soft. And a lot of people say, a lot of students tell me, oh, Mr. McKee, his fur is so soft. But you know what? He doesn't have any fur. What are his wings made out of? Feathers. What's his tail made out of? Feathers. What does he have on his back? More feathers. What does he have on top of his head? More feathers. What does he have on his tummy? More feathers. What's his underwear made out of? More feathers. He's got feathers all around him. He doesn't have any fur, doesn't have any hair. He's got feathers instead. Would you like to see what they feel like? Like to touch his feathers? He's touching the feathers on the. We're going to give him a name tag so that wherever he goes, we'll know he's the Junco that came to the Nature Center on February 8th, I think today is. 6th. February 6th, whatever today is. And we're going to write all that down to. Oh, look at that. He's losing part of his underwear there. Oh, no, this is part of his tail. He lost one of his tail feathers.
Yep.
Okay, well, and his name tag is kind of interesting. His name tag is a little bracelet. That's right. It's a tiny little metal bracelet that's going to go around his leg. It's nice and light so that he can fly and it doesn't hurt. It's not like he's got a big heavy bracelet on his leg. So, to get it on, to get it on his leg, I have to use a special tool. I just can't slide it on there. So I'm going to stick it on this special tool. I'm going to open up the little bracelet. The bracelet is really called a band. We're going to put a big band on his leg, and you'll all get to see it up close. In fact, you can see how we open up that band. And if you look, there are numbers on the outside of that band. And no other bird is going to have the numbers that this bird has. We'll look and see what the numbers say here in just a minute. But all the bands have different numbers, so that no two bands are the same. And wherever he flies, if somebody finds him, they can read that number and they can find out where he came from. It's kind of cool. So, okay, you ready? I'm going to read you the number, and you remember this, so that in case he ever flies to your house, you can find him. Okay, ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 8, 0, 4, 6, 9, 2, 1. Get it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
1, 2, not forget.
It's a long number. 1, 2, 8, 0, 4, 6, 9, 2, 1. So we're going to write that down so we don't forget, because I can't remember that very well. And we're going to write down what kind of bird it is. What is it?
Junco.
A Junco. Actually, it's called a slate-colored Junco, for what that's worth. And we're going to record where we caught him. We caught him in a special trap on the ground, because this kind of bird often is on the ground. And it's trap number 1. And we're going to record if it's a boy or a girl. How do we find out if it's a boy or a girl? I don't know. Well, on this kind of bird, it's kind of funny. To find out if it's a boy or a girl, we have to measure its wings. In some birds, the girls have bigger wings. And in other birds, the boys have bigger wings. And in Juncos, the boys have bigger wings. So if the wings are big enough, we can say, oh, it's a boy. Or if the wings are small enough, we can say it's a girl. A lot of times it's kind of in between and it's hard to tell. So I have a special ruler. And I'm gonna measure his wing.
You do it on just one side?
Usually they're the same.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about it. That's your question. And his wing is 76 millimeters. And 76 means this is 77 millimeters. And that means we can't tell. If it's more than 77 millimeters, we can say it's a boy. Let's measure one more time. Now it's 77. And if it's less than 73, we can say it's a girl. So all we can say is, we don't know. We don't know if it's a boy or a girl. And we record today's date. It was 02/06/21, and we record how old he is. How old is he? Well, let's see.
You count his feathers from his feet.
Count the rings on his tree. Actually, I have to look it up to see how old he is. We have a special book to tell how old birds are. And the tail feathers would tell us he wasn't born this year, because this is February of this year. He wasn't born last year in 2020. He was born in 2019 or before. That's all we know for sure. So
he's an old
we
bird.
say he's after the second year. So that might be confusing, but this isn't his second year, it's after the second year. So he's ready to fly away. You want to watch him fly?
He's an old
As I say, 1, 2, 3, go, you let go. Ready? Got it? Jump, let go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. There he goes.
Bye, Junko.
Whoa, that was cool. Good job. Blue jays are cool. Now, you know what's interesting? How do I explain this? If you had a cardinal feather, what color would it be?
red.
Red. And if you would grind it up, you know what color the dust would be? Red. And that goldfinch has bright yellow feathers. If you grind up one of his feathers, you know what color the dust is? Yellow. But a blue jay has blue feathers. But if you grind them up, you know what color the dust is? Gray. It's gray. Why would that be? Well, the reason you see all this pretty blue color, it's only because of the way the light strikes that blue, and the feather is like a little prism, and it breaks the light, and you get to see the blue. But if the light doesn't reflect off the feather, his feathers are gray. You want to see? So what color are his feathers?
Gray.
They're blue right now, but that's because the light's reflecting off of them. If instead the light comes through them, what color are they?
Gray.
They're gray. All the blue disappears. These are called the coverts. They cover up the base of the primaries.
Cool.
And on the ones that were born last year, the coverts are just plain kind of brownish blue. But on the ones that are after the second year, they have these little bars on them. See the bars?
We're talking about
On these
these
little,
feathers here.
especially these on the primary coverts right here.
Yep.
See the little dark bars?
Yeah.
So that tells you how old it is. Cool. Oh, there he goes. And you know how a lot of birds will walk up a tree? This bird always goes down the tree. He's upside down. He goes down head first. You'll see him on the bark of a tree, walking down the tree. And with his long pointed beak, he's looking in the bark for little bugs that are hiding in the bark there. Now, a lot of birds do that by going up the tree and looking in the bark. He goes down the tree and he can see little bugs in the bark that other birds never see. He also likes, I keep calling it he, and it is a he. He also eats seeds, and when he catches a seed, or when he picks up a seed, he'll whack it with his beak to crack it open. And it's like he's hatching open a seed. His name is the nuthatch. Can y'all say nuthatch? Nuthatch. Isn't that funny? There are two kinds of nuthatches around here. One of them has white on the front, and one of them has kind of a reddish on the front. So this one's called the white-breasted nuthatch. The other one is called the red-breasted nuthatch. And they look a lot alike. They're gray, pretty gray with this white on the front and this really cool black cap on top of his head there. And these funny long beaks. And the song says yank, 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 yank. So his leg is a little bit bigger than the junco's leg. Just a little bit fatter. And so he takes a different size band. He takes a band that's a little bit bigger. So he takes size 1B instead of size 0. So here we go. So here's his little band. And he'll wear this the rest of his life. It won't come off. And his number is going to be, oh, I forgot to tell you this too. I read you that number on the outside of his band. Well, on the inside of the band, if you open it up, there's some letters. And there's an address where you can send this band if you find it. It's not unusual for a bird to fly into your window and die. Yesterday we found a cardinal that had flown into the window at our house, and she was dead lying there on the driveway. It was too bad. If she had had a band, inside of that band would be an address where you send it. And then they can, it all goes to the same place, and then they can find out, well, that cardinal has lived 3 years. It was they'll know where it was banded, and who banded it, and how old it was, and if it was a boy or a girl. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to open this band up. And we're going to put it right here in the pliers, like that. And Jude, you're going to be on this one. Okay? Hold both sides. Don't squeeze yet, okay? Don't squeeze yet. Don't squeeze yet. Don't squeeze. Okay, now squeeze them together. Yeah, just, okay, now open them up. And there we go. You did it. You put the band on. I'm going to just tighten it. Just one little touch here. Ready? Why don't you use your real hand, not your glove.
You'll be fine, dude.
Well, there we go.
He's more scared of
Now,
you
just
than
his
you are.
head sticking around, okay? Hold him up in the air. Hold him way up where everybody can watch. Whoa, there it goes. Let's see if he sings. Every year, a bird loses all his feathers twice. At least twice. He loses, but does he run around in his pajamas? No. He loses them one by one, and he grows new ones. And so this one, in the next couple months, this bird is gonna lose all these feathers, and guess what color they're gonna be when they come, the new ones come out?
Yellow.
They're gonna be bright yellow. And he's going to look like, if I can turn right to, oh, he's going to look like this.
So he's
Right.
that bird.
And now it's kind of olive color there. So Harper, what kind of bird is this bright yellow one? Do you remember?
Goldfish.
A goldfinch, exactly. This is a goldfinch. Now, she's gonna move her wings, but that's okay. It won't hurt. If she wiggles her wings, it won't hurt. Put your hand all around it real tight. That's good. That's good. Hold her up in the air. There she goes.
Good job. That's the only one I remember.
Okay, so
Go ahead, tell me, I wanna know.
here's what happened. This morning, when I put out the traps, I had put seeds in the traps like you saw here. And this woodpecker was pecking on this suet. That white stuff there is animal fat. And woodpeckers like to eat animal fat. And so I thought, I wonder if I put the animal fat, the suet, in the trap, I wonder if he would go in. So while we were looking at that nuthatch, look what he did. He went in the trap and he got stuck. So, lucky us here.
So what type is it then?
Aha. Well, I'll show you here.
Okay. And when you tell me, can you tell me how to tell the difference between the
Yep.
downy and this one?
Yep, I will indeed.
Okay, thank you.
He doesn't want to give me his leg. May I have your leg, please? Thank you. There we go. Look at that, isn't he pretty? Wow, wait. Yeah, you'll get to feeling here in just a minute. Okay, let me show you something here. There, around Mansfield, actually in all of Ohio, there are 7 kinds of woodpeckers. And 2 of them look a lot alike. They both are black with white spots. They both have white stripes that come right above their eye, like you see there. They have that black cheek that comes back there. They have a black head. On the boys, there's red on the back of the head. And on girls, there's not. There's just white. There isn't red. Ooh, look at that. He's pecking me there. That one hurts a little bit. That's the only one that's hurt so far. But if you, there we go. So, let me show you, and you can figure out which one this is. Okay, yeah, look at that. So the downy woodpecker is a little bit smaller, and the hairy woodpecker is bigger,
So you knew that based on size.
based on the size and on a couple other things too. Bigger pair of pliers. Here we go, ready? Open it up
Who's gonna do
like that.
Who's gonna do I was scared.
Well, I've got one for everybody here, but this one is Layla's turn, so. You ask, right?
Mhm.
That's right. Okay, here we go. Ready? Don't squeeze them together yet. I'm gonna have you squeeze them together, but wait till we get his leg in there. Okay, ready? Squeeze. Perfect. Okay, you can open them up. And there we go. There's his little bracelet. Okay, ready? So put your hand your hand around his body. There we go.
Good job, Harper.
Oh, Harper, this is too cool. You ready? Oh. You want to let him go?
Good one.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, go!
Ooh, got some feathers.
Good job.
This is long.
Good job. Okay. Okay, hold him up. When I say 3, we're going to let him go. You ready? 1, 2, 3.